Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's August, and Kyle Connor, Patrik Laine, Brock Boeser, Mitch Marner, I see you, Toronto. All of these guys are unsigned. They're without contracts. These are some players that are putting up crazy numbers, astronomical numbers, and they're just coming out of their entry-level contract. The NHL is changing, and I've said it time and time again in my past videos. You know, speed and quickness is kind of the way of the league, and it seems like goal scoring is the way of the league too. Of course, everybody wants to score goals, but it seems like teams are becoming more and more comfortable trying to outscore their opponents and outscore their problems. You know, if you score 5 goals, well, then the other team has to score 6 to beat you, so you might be able to give up 3 or 4, and with the defensive responsibility sometimes being on the back burner, where these players that put up, you know, a ton of points are, you know, key to this market. They are, you know, the future of the NHL, they're the current of the NHL, and that's why it's taking so long for these general managers and these star athletes to come to terms, because these athletes and these agents are getting smart, and they know what they're worth. They know they're the reasons that people come to games. They know they're the people that drive play. They're the people that drive offense. And without them, some of these teams just wouldn't succeed at the same way. I mean, Mitch Marner led the Toronto Maple Leafs in scoring. The Maple Leafs are, you know, one of the most financially secure teams in the league. They have Austin Matthews and John Tavares. But this kid, Mitch Marner, on the wing, outscores them both in points. He has 94 points in the season. That's 26 goals and 68 assists. He's a key cog in the Maple Leaf system. So Kyle Dubas really has to, you know, do some deep thinking about, you know, how much he's going to be worth. You know, they moved out Patrick Marleau. They moved, you know, Nazem Kadri. They opened up some cap space. They are trying to sign Marner, you know, for whatever it takes, but is it going to be 9 million, 10 million, 11 million? And after that, you know, the rest of the league can kind of decide. It feels like it's kind of a logjam. Marner seems to be one of the key pieces. Mitch Marner is kind of, you know, leading the whole market here, and that, you know, is just a list that goes on and on after Marner. Not to say that Marner is the best player on this list, but he's just kind of the one that everyone is watching because it feels like his contract might be the biggest, and then all the other players might say, hey, look at Mitch, I want to get paid like Mitch Marner. Mikko Rantanen kind of has a point here. Mikko Rantanen had 31 goals, 56 assists for 87 points in just 74 games for Colorado. And when you're playing with Gabriel Landeskog and Nathan MacKinnon, well, you're going to be a key cog, and you're going to be a key piece of that team for years and years to come. So Joe Sakic, the GM for, you know, the Avalanche, is definitely thinking about his team's future and knowing that Rantanen is a huge part of it. And he's a huge guy. He's a very big player. He's what you want in a player. So, you know, if Rantanen is waiting for Marner, well then, you know, what is Kyle Connor and Patrik Laine for these Winnipeg Jets doing? I mean, Connor had 34 goals and 31 assists last year. Outscoring goals-wise, Patrik Laine, who is, you know, set to be one of the most prolific goal scorers in this league, you know, in the same vein that Alex Ovechkin scores goals. And even though Laine had a down year with just 30 goals, he has 110 goals in his NHL career so far. He's already proven that he can put the puck in the net at a high rate, and if his down year is 30 points, you know, he could be a 40 and 50 goal scorer. So, you know, shovel day up. The Jets GM has to find, you know, a room. Shovel day off. I got it. He will, you know, have to find out how to fit Connor and Laine under the cap. And Winnipeg also needs to improve because, you know, that's a team that fell out of the playoffs in the first round. So how are you going to improve while just trying to keep 2 guys that were there last year? So it is kind of a log jam, and it feels like all of these GMs can't really put the puzzle pieces together until, you know, these dominoes fall around the league. And I was reading, you know, on The Athletic that, you know, these restricted free agents are affecting everybody in the NHL besides just the team that they're trying to sign with, because, you know, you cannot do much until you know, and you want to improve your team, you want to see where the division is going to finish, but you don't know even, you know, what these rosters are going to look like. How can, you know, the analysts do season previews if you don't know if this player is going to join the team, you know, at the start of training camp, at the beginning of the season, or, you know, I hate to say it, it could be as far as December, like William Nylander held out and, waited for his contract. So if your player misses, the first couple of months of the season, that could mean your team dips in points. That could mean a lot. It has to do with fantasy hockey. It has to do with the beginning of the season, the standings. Everything is being affected by these restricted free agents. And it's funny because it seems like everything is at a snail's pace. We haven't heard a lot of news. We haven't heard a lot of rumors. Mitch Marner's agent has been, speaking a lot. So it should be extremely interesting to see, how this all shakes out. And, the names just continue to go on. Matty Tkachuk for Calgary had 34 goals for the team that was first place in the West, and then Brock Boeser from Vancouver. He's been injured for a couple of years, but he's going to be a key piece of that team with Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes, and then Brock Boeser is right there, a big part of the offense to come for these Canucks that are having their own little renaissance and becoming a competitive team again. So it will be interesting to see where it all shakes out, and there even are some defensemen. I've been talking about forwards, Provorov in Philly and Werenski in Columbus, not to mention McAvoy, who took the Bruins all the way to the finals. He played big minutes. These defensemen, even if they're not, the names that might come to mind as, superstar defensemen, a lot of them are in top pairings. They do play, over 20 minutes a night. That's a third of the team's play. Everyone is waiting. Everyone is going to see what's going to happen, and I am a part of that. And I guess lucky for me, my San Jose Sharks signed Timo Meier and Kevin Labanc early in the summer, so they kind of feel like they're smooth sailing. But that meant that Joe Pavelski had to leave. So these contracts are just changing. The entry-level deals, the first 3 years of hockey, are just proving that these superstars can make impact right away. We don't have to wait for that bridge deal and then to see how they're going to end up later in their career. They're proving it right away. They're showing how good they are, and they're showing this league that the young guys are here to stay, and they want to get paid. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, you look at Corey Perry, he was bought out. You look at Kevin Shattenkirk, he was bought out. Patrick Marleau, he was bought out. So these teams, these general managers, and these owners would not think twice about buying out and trading you. So why should these players take team-friendly deals? Unless you play for the Sharks, all for it. But these players want to make as much as they can within the realm of reason, within the realm of not taking up 25% of the team's salary cap. As long as you're still letting your team be competitive, get every dollar you can. I get it. This is a league that's unforgiving, a sport that's unforgiving, and when the players have the power like they do now, this might happen, and that's why there's CBA disputes, that's why there's lockouts. It's a very moving league, and it changes every year. I'd love to see how it shakes out. I'd love to see how many guys actually hold out. If most of these guys don't play till December, it will look like a very different league. But I have a hunch that as soon as this video goes out, everyone is going to sign. So I guess we're going to see. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming by. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an NHL update. I've been kind of going from, talking to people who are just learning hockey and then talking to people who really know the game. So I guess I'm here talking to the NHL fans. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your summer. Get ready for the preseason. NHL 20 is going to come out. All the good stuff is coming out. Maybe I'll do videos on the video game. Maybe I'll do videos on season previews. I'm still trying to work it all out, but thank you for following. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and one more thing before I go. I found an excellent podcast, and if you are a fan of the sport the way that I am, and you want that in-depth coverage, if you want deeper, much deeper conversation about these free agents and they who have not been paid, watch Goalie Interference Podcast. I'll leave a link. Maybe I'll put the image right here. It is a great podcast. It is 4 women talking about, this great game. They're hilarious. They're smart. They know analytics. It's a great podcast. I've really been watching it, or listening to it as much as I can. So give them a like, a follow, a subscribe, however it works. Check them out, and have a good one. Thank you so much. I am far from hockey, and I'm trying to get you closer.